Hey team, Colonel Lopez here. Today we're going to talk about how to brand, prospect, and gain referrals to maximize your production as a recruiter in the Marauder Brigade. The first thing you got to do is understand your audience, Generation Z. To Generation Z, how cool you are is determined by the ratio of followers to following. Generation Z want max number of followers and the minimum number of following. They're very stingy when it comes to following you or following anyone. The other thing about Generation Z is they're very quick to judge. They're going to look at your brand, at your page when you contact them and make a snap judgment and decide if you're somebody they want to interact with or not. That's why having a strong brand is very important. The whole reason why we want to have a strong brand, a strong personal brand on social media, is to gain followers. But the real reason is to help us prospect. Having a lot of followers is great. Having a lot of likes is great. But ultimately, we want to prospect through social media and put people in the Army. So here's what we're going to do to build a strong brand. First of all, you want to post cool photos and videos that appeal to your market. Let me give you an example. Most recruiters and leaders, when they visit a station, they take extremely lame pictures of them standing at attention in front of the wall, and people disregard it. It looks like another just bunch of Army guys. So here's an example of what I did when I visited the station in Columbus. I looked around and I saw all these swords and knives and stuff, and I said, hey, everybody grab one of those. And then I saw the Pioneer hat, the Daniel Boone cap that they use for incentives in the Columbus Battalion. And I said, hey, you two put your Pioneer hat on. And we took the picture with the knives and the swords just to be cool and different. I got 650 likes on that photo. That's an example of changing how we take photos to appeal to the market. The next thing we got to do is hit your hashtags and your tags to maximize that photo, touch the maximum number of people, and gain more followers. So 3 of my recent photos that went out. First, recently I took one with an NFL quarterback, former NFL quarterback. I was doing an interview with him and his dad for a local sports radio show to talk about recruiting. So I took the photo with him and I hit hashtag high school football, hashtag Friday Night Lights, hashtag Louisville, hashtag Lou City. Another one was just my family out for a day pumpkin picking. For that one, I hit hashtag Huber Farms, hashtag Halloween, hashtag pumpkin, hashtag fall fun, hashtag Indiana. And here was one that I used in a high school. It was at Gahanna Lincoln High School in Ohio. For that one, I hit hashtag Gahanna, Ohio, and then I asked them, what's your Instagram hashtag? They said it's GLHS. So I made sure to hit that. I got tons of likes, tons of hits, and interaction on those photos because I hashtagged and then tagged the actual people that ultimately I want them to repost my picture. So I tagged some of different entities, hopefully so that they'll repost my photo. All right. Hey, don't be scared to show your civilian side. Show the outside, show you having fun, show you with your family, doing those things you like to do. We got to post regularly. Okay. Some people don't post enough and some people post too much. What I usually do, I usually post on my story about 2 to 3 times a week, and that disappears in 24 hours. And then I post on my timeline, which stays permanently, probably again about 2 to 3 times a week. So you got to post regularly to stay relevant. And then you really got to look hard at the number of followers you have, and then also who is following you. You want the cool kids in the high school, the influential kids, captain of the football team, captain of the debate team, captain of the cheerleading team. If they're following you, it's more likely that other people in that high school will follow you. So that's building your brand. And now we're going to talk about how to use your brand to prospect. Hey, prospecting is really important, team. And let's talk about what not to do. Don't build a brand with one photo and then send out a mass connection to everybody in the high school about wanting to join the Army. It's just not going to work. You got to have that strong brand before you start to do it. Now, mass prospecting will work. Some people like it and it works for them. That just means you're contacting with a set message a maximum number of people. Everybody in the high school, everybody in the college, everybody in the community college, and you're just hoping in all those messages you send out, you're going to get some response. So that is effective, but here's some other ways to prospect as well. The first one is precision prospecting. So now that you've built a brand, look at your target audience and look to connect with them individually through precision prospecting. So let's say you're looking at, you're going through the names on a school list, you're trying to find those on Facebook, and you find somebody that you know goes to a local school that's one of your schools, and you see that they love computers. Shoot them a note that talks about all the opportunities with cyber, with signal, communications, all those things. Or you see somebody in one of their posts where they're working on cars. Reach out to them, send them a precision note, and say, hey man, I love being a mechanic too. We got great opportunities to be a mechanic in the Army. Find ways to connect with them. That's what precision prospecting is all about. The next thing we'll talk about is proximity prospecting, and you guys are going to love this. Let's say you go into a classroom to do a classroom presentation. Your phone has been in proximity of everybody in that classroom. So what's going to happen when you go home, you take the list of the people that were attending that class and you start typing in their names into Instagram or Facebook or any social media outlet. Because your phone was in proximity to their phone, it's more likely that they will pop to the top of the list and you can find them very easily. So it's a great way to mix the physical with the virtual, whether it's a table setup, a football game, an event, a briefing. Get your phone in proximity to the maximum number of people in your target audience, get the list of people who were there, and then use proximity prospecting to connect with them. Hey, I saw you were in my class today. What'd you think of my briefing? You can ask them personal questions because you know you were in the same place. The last one I'd encourage you guys to use is questionnaires. A recruiter taught me this. He said, what I do is I shoot out a blast to people in my high school and say, what do you think from 0 to 10, what do you think about the opportunities in the Army? And then when somebody comes back and they say, well, I think a number 6. People just want to answer questionnaires. It's just inherent, something in how social media works. So let's say they say, hey, a 6 on opportunities in the Army. He said he uses reverse psychology and says, why didn't you put a lower number? Oftentimes that person ends up talking themselves into a 7 or an 8, and then he can say, hey, sounds like you're interested in the Army. Why don't we sit down and do an appointment? Another way to use social media to prospect is by doing challenges on your social media page. Recently, somebody called me out on a push-up challenge. That's a great way. You can call out people you're trying to prospect on certain challenges or certain hashtags, and that's a great way to connect with them, show them the Army, and ultimately get that appointment. The last thing is use the virtual and use your social media to hype your physical events, your actual events you're going to be at. If you get a good brand and a good following, you can say, hey, I'm going to be at this table setup at this high school at lunch. I'm going to be at this football game at this certain time. Come and see me. Or you can always say where you are in the virtual to bring people to actually meet you in the physical. That's a great way to connect and a great way to prospect. The last thing I want to talk about is how to use social media to get the maximum number of referrals. People say your 3rd year in recruiting is the easiest because all the people you put in the Army the first 2 years just end up bringing you people because they have faith, trust, and confidence in you. You can do the same thing and turn your 3rd year of recruiting into your 1st year if you maximize social media to get at your referrals. So how does it work? Let's say you put this person in the Army in your 1st month in recruiting command. On social media, show that person in future soldier training, show them enlisting at MEPS, show them leaving for basic training and graduating from basic training, show them arriving to their 1st unit, and then oftentimes when they come back home on leave and take that picture with you, show them together. What's going to happen is that person's network, if you're posting all that on social media and they're either reposting what you did or they're tagged in your posts, all their friends and family can see that. And that whole network looks at it, sees the success that they've had, and comes to you and contacts you on social media and says, hey, I want what that other person has. That's how referrals can really help you. Okay, we've talked about branding, we've talked about prospecting, and we've talked about referrals. In all of those areas, keep it clean. No cussing, nothing sexual, no alcohol. You've worked so hard to build a strong brand to represent you in the Army. Don't do anything to hurt your brand. We want you to be edgy, we want you to be funny, but keep it clean in everything you do. In closing, social media is an extremely powerful tool to maximize your production as a recruiter. It does take some time and effort and hard work to build up your brand. But once you've built your brand, it literally serves as your own advertising agency to connect you with the maximum number of applicants and prospects. Hey, combine social media with face-to-face and phone prospecting to expand the impact of your efforts and connect with Generation Z. Good luck out there. Thanks for all you do, Marauders.